Testing, mic check, testing, 1, 2. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the 11th episode of the No Negative Behavior Show. I got to give myself a round of applause for that. 11 episodes. Shoot. Drop a bomb on them, DICE. A lot of people thought I wouldn't last that long, but I'm still here. You know, motivation. Motivation, like Nipsey Hussle said. Motivation is very important. Keep the wind behind your back. You know, keep 10 toes down and just keep pushing forward. You know, don't spend too much time in the rearview mirror. You know what I'm saying? So this weekend has been very eventful. Had a lot of things going on this weekend. For one, they had the Kings Stop Killing Kings March in the South Bronx in the Boogie Down. That was super dope. I ain't gonna front, I wasn't around, couldn't make it, but I definitely tuned in. You know, my prayers and my support, my energy is all with the brothers that's doing the thing, unifying the gangs, you know, promoting peace in the neighborhoods. Very, 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 very important. Give them a round of applause for that. We had Cure Violence in the building, G-Mac in the building, SOS in the building. A lot of the gang leaders, the big homies was in the building, tying flags together. Very, 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 very monumental. And I think that's dope. I even if it lasts only for a moment, you know, I think it was very, very inspirational. You know, if you could do that today, you could do it tomorrow, and you could keep it pushing all the way into the future. You know what I'm saying? Unity and divided, united we stand, divided we fall. Yeah, keep that in mind, fellas. United we stand, divided we fall. I think that was really, really dope. They marched from Fordham Road to 161st Street. No problems. Nobody got arrested. It was a very beautiful thing. You know, give them another round of applause for that. Yeah. All in light of Mr. Nipsey Hussle. You know, that you know, of course, is unfortunate. I wanted to do something about gangs today, but it didn't work out. But, you know, in the future, I will have my episode about, you know, unifying gangs and things of that nature. You know, his demise, that was very, very crazy and unfortunate. We lost another true legend in hip-hop, and I'm going to call him a legend because I listened to his music. You know, I wasn't really a fan of Nipsey Hussle. I had heard his album, but I didn't really listen to it, the lyrics, you know, and I actually read the lyrics to a lot of his songs, and I was very impressed. Nipsey Hussle was talking about some shit. You know, he was talking about generational wealth. Who talks about generational wealth in hip-hop nowadays aside from Jay-Z, you know? So he was really, really before his time, ahead of his time. He did his thing, you know? And it's funny, you know, we was just talking about how much his clothing is selling now and his death, you know, his clothing is really, really off the hook right now. It's like he's selling out. People are buying it out. The Crenshaw shirts, they're buying it out. People like Meek Mills, The Game, 2 Chainz, J.R. Smith, T.I., they done bought the place out. You know, you can't even get no more shirts. You probably, it's crazy, but, you know, it's an opportunity, and I don't think that these people are using it, you know, to make money. They was just really trying to support the brand. And, you know, there's a lot of people that want to buy something, you know, so save something for the little folks that want to buy some of the marathon gear, you know. Give back, like let them get a chance to buy some of it, you know, before they hike up the prices and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? That's what people do. It's just business. But, you know, Nipsey right now, Nipsey is reportedly worth, you know, wait, oh, do we have a drum roll in here? No drum roll. He's worth $8 million. $8 million in his death. $8 million in his death. Nipsey is worth $8 million right now in his death. I don't know what to say about that. I really don't know what to say. You know, I salute Nipsey Hussle. I salute his family. My condolences go out to Laura London, his you know, all of his children, his mother, his brother. He left a lot of people behind. And, you know, keep supporting the brand. Keep Nipsey alive. Keep this energy alive, West Coast, East Coast, you know, tying the flags together, uniting and promoting peace. Keep that alive. Don't let it die. Keep it alive. All right? So, as you know, promised, my guest for tonight is Mr. Andrew Horkey. Andrew Horkey, come here, Andrew. Come here, man. This is my boy, Andrew Horkey. All right, so let me just give you a little insight, you know, a little of the backstory of how we came to this show here, Andrew Horkey and myself. As you know, I always talk about where I work, right? I work at a shelter. We're in one of the shelters in Yonkers. I work there. And, you know, I work the overnight shift, so, excuse me, I get a chance to be around the clients, like, as they're going to sleep. We call them clients, but they're people, but we call them clients. And, you know, we build a relationship. You know, this guy, Mr. Horkey right here, he's one of the guys that, you know, sleeps right in front of my desk. So, you know, every time I'm in a conversation, he's in the conversation. You know, inadvertently, he's right there. You know, his ears can't escape my conversation because he's right there. And, you know, after a while, I get to know Horkey, and he's a very interesting guy, you know. Introduce yourself to the people.
No, I'm Andrew.
Step up to the mic.
Andrew Horkey, currently homeless. I like saying it, but, you know, it's the situation I'm in right now. You know.
Right. When we talk about homeless people, and like I said in the promo, the difference, and this is my opinion. This is me speaking. This is me speaking. This is not a definition. This is just me. It's my opinion. The difference between a homeless person and a bum is lack of ambition. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, you know, you can call anybody a bum. I mean, like my mother called bums. Like, it was this guy that we knew as a kid. He was like, didn't want to go work. He stayed home. You know, didn't do anything. Now, it's a bum if somebody doesn't want to get up and do anything. You know?
Right.
But, you know, I as little life as I do have, I get up every day, and 5 o'clock they make you get up. You know that. You see 5 o'clock in the morning, it's like, get up, time to do your thing. I mean, and they'll stand around and wait for the little coffee and donuts. I can't do that, you know what I mean?
Right.
That saying, you know, you hang out with 6 broke ass.
Yeah.
You know, you're the seventh. Yeah, so I'm not going to, you know, I'd rather stand down the street in front of the bank and wait for the people to walk by and I ask for money. That's how I get money.
All right, they call that panhandling.
Nah, well, you know, that's what they call it. But, I mean, I'm just, what was her name? She said she depended on the kindness of strangers.
The kindness of strangers.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. But, I mean, when I say lack of ambition, you know, I be around the guys sometimes, and, you know, I can't help but to observe, and it's my job to observe. So, you know, as I'm watching that, there are job opportunities that they're presented with job opportunities and training, you know, for free that they can go to, and you know that will help with their quality of life, so to speak, if they took some of these training classes and got the knowledge to better themselves a little bit. And, you know, sometimes they don't want to do it. So that's why I say the lack of ambition kind of makes them that guy that just don't want to do nothing, like a bum.
You're right. I mean, listen, the American way is there. Okay, I understand that. You know, understand. You can create something out of nothing, and I've seen it.
Okay.
All right, and then they give you the tools. I mean, they do give you the tools. If you want to do what they tell you, you want to, you know, however they tell you. If you go by what they say, you can make yourself something out of nothing. I've seen it happen. But, you know, people who've done it for 37 years and you figure it's the time to retire and time to take it easy, and you see people getting Social Security checks at 29 years old, and they're out there, they can work. You see that they're clear-minded enough to actually panhandle after 2 or 3 days of smoking crack. That's
Okay, wait. How long have you been homeless?
On and off about 2.5 years.
All right, so you haven't been homeless that long.
Well, I mean, I've had to
2.5 years.
I mean, yeah.
30 months.
Have you ever really been homeless? Maybe it did.
No, I've never been homeless.
Some of the days could be weeks.
Okay.
If you want to sit there and wait for the day to go by.
And I just a disclaimer: anybody can be homeless. It's don't think because you're in a good living condition, your circumstances is good right now, that your circumstances can't change. Because I seen your page, and like you said, you only been homeless 30 months. And I seen your Facebook page. You was talking to parrots, and you was working. You had a life. You had a family.
Well, the last thing I did professionally was parrot specialist.
Okay.
I would retrain parrots, rehabilitate the people who own them, so that way, they became one with their animal. I mean, people just buy parrots and make them furniture.
Right, and parrots are very expensive.
Oh,
too.
yeah, but they're very smart. It's not like, you're just buying a dog and you're talking about an animal that could actually talk back to you. You know what I mean? And if you learn to let that part of your brain go, you could actually have a pet that
you can talk to.
Yeah.
And can talk back to you.
Come on.
That's crazy.
The pigeons, you do that with any animal now.
Yeah, I kind of like the crows. And
the crows talk better than the parrots.
The crows. I kind of like the crows. Yeah. But, so let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, things can change in a second. So how did you become homeless?
Originally,
go ahead.
Paying somebody rent who didn't pay the rent.
Okay.
That was the first step, because I come home one day and there's a marshal there saying they got a padlock on the door. So, all right, where the hell am I going to go now?
Oh, so you were renting
from somebody who was renting a room for somebody, and came home one day and the marshals had the lock on the door. That's the first step of me being homeless.
Okay.
So I was able to actually pay somebody a few dollars to stay in their home. But it wasn't like, I was paying for a room. It was my space.
Right.
And then now you got to put up with somebody else, because now you got to sleep under their laws, their rules.
So true.
That's homeless. That's at that point. That's pretty much homeless.
Yeah, it's not yours.
Yeah. My sister, I just stay in my sister's house for months, and dealing with the children. I've already had my children. I got to deal with somebody else's children. Watch my kids for a little while, and they forget that you did them the favor of watching the kids. Now you're back to, listen, I don't want you smoking on my porch. I don't want you going downstairs. Oh, yeah. All right, never mind. Do whatever you want.
At some point, there's, all right, I can speak for myself, and, there's men out there that decide to move in with a woman, okay? And you move in with a woman, right? And you get into an argument, and one of the things that she says is what? Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Or some that's light. Sometimes you might come home and all your stuff will be right out in the front, or burn. And say she burns your stuff. Just hypothetically speaking. Just say that she gets rid of everything you own and then puts you out, right? What type of position are you in now? Where are you? If you don't have anywhere to go, like, you might be able to go to a friend's house. You might be able to go to a sibling's house. But how long does that last?
I want to tell you, and the system favors the woman, always. Jeannie Pirro made a law a couple years ago where if they come into a person's home and all the woman has to say is, he hit me, without physical proof, they will arrest the man.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That, when I heard that, was beyond me. I said,
yeah, we had
really?
last week. We kind of touched on that. You gotta, that's a very tricky situation. So wait, so you've been homeless 30 months, right?
Yeah, on and off.
On and off, 30 months.
I've been what they call like a hobosexual.
Hobosexual. All right,
define somebody because they got a place. You rekindle past love, or
hobosexual. We got a hobosexual. We got to drop a bomb on that. That's a new word. Hobosexual. You date somebody just because they provide you with a place to stay. Sad, so sad. I mean, if that's you and when you're in those positions, you got to do what you got to do, because You don't want to sleep on the street. What happens in the wintertime?
Let me tell you, it's a rough.
How is homelessness in the winter?
Oh my God, man! Especially, I mean, it's either the streets. I mean, I go to a friend's house, first starting to stay at the shelter, and he says, "Oh, come to my house. I'll hang out." I say, "I figure I'm going to stay the night." Kicks me out 1 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's snowing, sleeting out.
Where do you go?
The nursery school has like the doorway that, you know, it was just underneath enough. I covered myself with the sheet that I had, and I called it a night. You know, I mean, Indian style in the cubby hole.
Really?
Yeah.
Outdoors.
Closed my eyes, woke back up. Sun's coming out. I said, "All right, guess it's time to get up."
Very interesting. I mean, you know, I see the guys that come into the shelter there, and you know.
But you see the ones that abuse it. You know, they're in the shelter. They want to get up at 3 in the morning to go smoke. And look, you're not going to let them come back in. It's all right. I guess I'll stand outside for the next 2 hours in the freezing cold just to get high. I mean, come on, man.
Well, they have these codependencies. They have habits. A lot of them have habits. And, you know, speaking of that, that's a good segue. The drugs, you know, homelessness and drugs, I'm starting to see that, you know, they're kind of hand in hand.
Well,
you know?
When a person is dependent on a drug, they don't care about anything else, you know?
But I've seen guys that come in just homeless, not drug addicts.
It's a different situation.
And then they compound their situation by using drugs.
Well, I'm not going to, you know, clearly, I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. You know,
Let's not sugarcoat anything.
I get, you know, I indulge once in a while. I'm not going to say I don't. But it's because I'm bored with life. I'm sitting around a homeless shelter watching people do things and feel things, and I'm saying, like, I'm sitting here like some kind of idiot, I'm just like melting away, doing nothing, waiting for the system to finally pick me up and help me for the work that I've done.
Okay.
So of course, I'm going to say, all right, well, let me get high. Give me a Percocet or, you know, hey.
And then that goes what I'm saying about the lack of ambition.
Exactly. And then that's how, so it's like a domino effect.
Right, exactly. So, you know, skills is one thing. I mean, you have a skill. You know, I understand that, you know, you did tell me, you did share with me about your health. You know, your health is failing right now.
Yeah, right now my heart's at like 18%.
Your heart?
Yeah. And when I first found out that I had a heart condition, I have congestive heart failure. Mm-hmm. The heart gets weak and hard from having stuff in the blood go through it constantly.
What kind of stuff are we talking about?
Minerals, rust, asbestos.
Right, because you did tell me you work with asbestos.
Well, it could be an amount of things. I mean, because most of the time, everybody actually inhales rust on a regular basis. Everybody inhales asbestos from the brakes, cars driving by. But when you do it and you're like fiberglass, you're doing crappy work, cutting up tanks from old schools, and they're lined with fiberglass. They're burning it, and you're inhaling it. So it gets into the bloodstream, goes through the heart, and as it goes through the heart, it scars the heart.
Right.
Heart becomes weak, and it doesn't pump the blood the way it's supposed to. So what it does is it creates a fluid. The fluid gets caught in the body, trapped, and makes you looks like you're fat, but you're not. You're just full of fluid.
You're full of fluids.
So
you're full of fluids right now?
Kind of. I can feel it in my neck. I can feel it in my belly. But it's because summer's coming, and I sweat now. So I'm actually able to sweat it out, as opposed to the winter time where it just gets trapped in me. I can't drink anything. I can't eat anything that has a lot of fluid in it because I pee at night, 1 o'clock in the morning when my body warms up.
All right. If you just tune in, I'm talking to Andrew Horkey. He's one of the clients at the shelter that I work at. You know, he's actually homeless at the moment. And one of the reasons why I brought him on the show, because, you know, I talked to him. I talked to this guy, and he has a very interesting story. And I wanted him to share it. But, you know, I want to go back, Horkey, to, all right, let's talk about your education. What's your level of education?
Dropped out of junior high school.
Dropped out in 7th or 8th grade. That's junior high school,
8th grade, that was it. I was supposed to go to high school, but I ended up going to work for a furniture company.
Okay.
Delivery man.
All right. So, you know, we talked. So how did you get into Manhattan College if you dropped out in the 7th grade?
When they let you get credits,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as you earn your, you know, your high school diploma.
Okay.
So I'm going to Manhattan High School with this Manhattan College with this girl Joanna Demchuk, a Polish girl, friend of mine, and you know we're sitting in class like I actually go there. So we did that for a couple months, and you know I learned a lot, you know, through the psych courses that she did and all this other stuff. And I said, you know what, I think I want to make a difference in this world. You know, maybe I'll be a you know, some kind of psychologist, therapist, or
Right.
you know, something to help me, caseworker, social worker. You know.
So what did you do?
I applied for a job with the Westchester Social Services, and I actually got the job lying, saying that I had degrees and stuff like that. They believed me.
Unbelievable. So this is the story I'm getting to, right? Because you worked there. You actually worked there.
I worked there for about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, you got the job. So
Yeah.
you know he lied on the application, and they gave him a job without, you know,
Actually checking.
without
credentials,
actually
you know.
checking. So
That's the
you know
system we live in.
the system.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, pretty much. I've known people who did that for years. Management and Cablevision. Never even went to high school. You know.
Really.
Yeah.
The glitches in the system.
Yeah.
Right. These are the gray
Yes, man.
areas. Yeah, the gray areas. All right. So, you know, you did that, and you took. All right. Tell us about how was growing up.
Well, I grew up in the Nodine Hill section of Yonkers, the southern part above Getty Square. Polish, Italian, Spanish, diversity mixed.
Sisters and brothers?
One sister, Veronica. Single mother raising 2 kids.
Mhm.
Father was never there. You know, things. Mother was a drug addict. Did things to get money to feed us. You know.
Your mom's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And what years was this?
You're talking anywhere from 1980 to.
Again, what drug, man? Ask what drug was she on?
A pharmacist would sell her pills called Soma.
So okay, so it wasn't crack or anything like
Well, my mother would do anything she got her hands on. I mean, one
Right.
time she beat my ass because I didn't bring dust home. She knew I was smoking angel dust.
Right.
And got mad that I didn't bring dust home to her. You know,
Wow.
With junk head, pretty they call that nowadays.
Right. That's sad. The reason why I asked because I know in the 80s there was a lot of crack and broke up a lot
Crack
of families.
was big.
Crack was very big. And you said your mother was the golden tongue. That's what you referred to her as, golden tongue.
Well, yeah, everyone, you know, they loved my mother. She was out on the streets. She was everyone's best friend. You know,
Yeah.
and behind closed doors, she was beating us because we looked like our father. You know. Yeah. You
Wow.
know.
Yeah, that's I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I've heard people beat their children, women beat their sons because the son reminds them of the father, and you know, there's a lot of things that go on. But do you think that all of this contributed to you being homeless, like the way you was brought up? Was it your choice to drop out of school, or what was it? Because there's somebody out there that's going to drop out of school in the 7th grade.
No. See, this is clearly because I'm in a home where there's no food on the table. The mother's old and nobody wants to pay for it no more. And you're sitting there like, how am I going to do this? 13 years old, you say, all right, I either go to school dirty, smelling like cat urine, or get a job and fix things.
Okay.
So you figure out 13 years old, you say, all right, I got the energy and muscle to do it. I'll work for a furniture company and deliver furniture because they don't care how old you are as long as you get the job done.
Okay, so you started working at 13.
Yeah.
All right. And you continue working up until you was about...
You mean working hard? I mean,
Yeah, working.
You're talking 3 jobs, 20 hours a day sometimes. I mean, working hard up until I was 45.
Okay.
And I was going to a doctor. He said I was fat and overweight and had me taking metformin because he said I had diabetes. And come to find out I have congestive heart failure. And he's making my heart worse with the metformin. And, diet this and don't do that. And meanwhile, you don't know anything's wrong with my heart. And, went from 23% 2 years ago to 21% last year to 18% over the holiday.
And it's failing.
Well, most people at 20%, things shut down, So here I am at 18%, and I'm talking to you like God is good.
Yeah.
And
he still smokes cigarettes.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to say I don't.
Let's not leave that out. He just he smokes
like a dirty stove.
Right. I don't understand that. When it comes to things like this, you either got to be proactive or reactive. That means quit smoking before you catch cancer, or catch cancer and then quit smoking. What are you going to do? You got to be proactive.
Adamant on me quitting. They're like, look, man, you got to quit. And I'm like, look at me. The past 10 years, I've been waking up like I'm underwater. What's the cigarette going to do? Really, congestive heart failure is tough. And you can get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and have a cup of fluid in your lungs. And, it's so hard to get out that you're sitting there bugging out like, please, you need an albuterol treatment or you need oxygen. And you're in a shelter where you can't get any of that.
Right. So you're talking about primary care.
Well, any kind of stuff. When it comes to someone's health, like I'm supposed to have oxygen on all the time, 2 pounds of oxygen.
2 pounds of oxygen.
Of oxygen at all times. And instead of that, I have to
You're supposed to look like one of those dudes that be flying around in the air with their backpack on. 2 pounds of oxygen.
Well, it's an amount of oxygen that's from the tank going into your nose all day.
Okay, so you're supposed to be hooked up.
At least 2 pounds of oxygen because my oxygen levels are always between 68 and 85.
And why? Why don't you have that?
Well, because the congestive heart failure, it doesn't pump enough oxygen to the brain and to the body.
But why don't you have this device, this oxygen device? Why aren't you hooked up to it?
Because I don't have a place to deliver the medical devices, oxygen tanks.
You can't pick that up from the hospital?
No, it has to be delivered. In order to get anything, it has to be delivered.
It has to be delivered.
And because I stay in the shelter won't accept it. And Cruz said the other day, he's like, if it really need to, I will make an exception. But then, like 2 days later, they were like, no, well, we can't because there's like an insurance thing. And you see clearly in the back of the sharing, they have a sign that says oxygen cylinders because at one time they did provide people with the proper needs.
Right.
But somewhere along the lines, it allocated monies.
Right. And I know you want to talk, or you don't want to talk about that now.
I just want to make sure. I really do want to make a change in this system.
You want to make a change?
Come on, man. I'm not going to
want to make a
put
change.
my life on the line to make a change. That's how I feel about things.
I think that's dope. That's one of the reasons why I got you here is because we talk. We talk, and I listen to you, and I told you that I would provide you with a platform because you really wanted to talk about homelessness and health care and things of that nature. I'm sure you said you had a relationship with the mayor of Yonkers at one point.
I was 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
There was a fire upstairs in my building. Curious 8-year-old. I come out of my apartment and I see the place is full of smoke, and I go upstairs and the place is burning.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm fearless. I'm an 8-year-old, and I see fire. I've seen fire in the park a million times.
Right.
So I go in the apartment, and the guy's on the bed, and the bed's on fire. So I get around the fire, and I pull him off the bed. Now I'm 8 years old, little kid, drag him out of the fire, and then I'm knocking on the people's door next door. I get them out. By the time I get downstairs and everybody's out, they're calling me a hero. So I'm like, all right, well, I don't know. I'm just an 8-year-old who didn't want people to burn. I don't know where you got hero from. But fine, call me a hero. Next thing I got City of Yonkers, cameras in my face, national awards, Hartford Agency gives me a gold medal, Yonkers gives me a key to the city, my own day, proclamation. But I'm homeless. Where's your key to the city? Does that key open something that I can shelter myself with,
Mm-hmm.
Give me a room in the bathhouse.
Right.
Cardboard box with a Wi-Fi signal.
Well, when we talk about affordable housing, you have to make.
There's too many laws, too many rules and laws. Anybody can sleep anywhere and keep themselves sheltered. But as long as there's a cop on the street, they're going to tell them, look, move, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Sorry. Sorry, if you're not able to, then you either go in a homeless shelter where we're going to make you feel like garbage, or you go to jail where we're going to make you feel like garbage. And so they're pretty much the same, because if you don't have a home, then you're nobody.
Okay, so you said a homeless shelter, they make you feel like
Come on, man.
garbage?
Look at how what's his name talks to me.
I don't know. Like, wait. Get closer to the mic.
Certain people have a knack of making people feel bad.
Well, you know what?
You know how it is. And they say, look, man, come on, man.
I'm gonna tell you, as an employee at a homeless shelter, that there is a test. You know the guys test you, and then you also have to keep in mind that everything has its patterns, right? So, if you sleep in the shelter every night and you have a pattern that you're going to do, like you're going to have a pattern. Now we have different workers that come in and they may change your pattern a little bit. No, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. And guys will get offended by that. If you say no, that you can't do something, someone will get offended, and someone that works there and abides by all the rules of the shelter, there's a lot that guys do that they shouldn't do.
Oh, of course.
So when we start enforcing the rules, I know a lot of times that the guys get a little upset. They get a little angry about that. And two,
but there's always the door. If they don't like it, leave. You know what I mean? They're not doing. That's the thing. Yeah.
But again, they're homeless. You say leave. To go where?
Listen, if you're not... Listen, they said to me the day on they North Broadway, they get another shelter.
He's talking about North Broadway in Yonkers, New York. Right.
Now, it's a little different because they cleaned the place up. There used to be women in there. They junked the place up, so now they renovated the downstairs. They get the same old beds, but it's cleaner. It's nice. But the thing is you go in at a certain time. You get your cigarettes by 10 o'clock, and you shut the door. You don't go out. You don't go out until 5 o'clock in the morning when you leave. You're supposed to be sleeping. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but sleep is a good thing to have. And I don't know where these people are getting sleep, because I'm lucky to get 5-6 hours sleep.
No, 5 or 6?
Yeah, because, the commotion, the doorway, people going in and out all night.
Right. Okay, all right. The drop-in shelters is for people to come in to sleep. They come in at night, and they come in off the street, and we provide them with a place to sleep, a cot and a blanket. And they're able to use the bathroom. They can take a shower, and in the morning, and it's just a drop-in shelter. It's just a place to sleep. But now you can actually stay at 1 Hudson Street in Yonkers, New York. You can stay there for the entire day.
Oh yeah.
You're able to stay
it's
there.
Cold, but that was because it was cold. But they're going to change it once it starts to warm up and things. Mm-hmm. I don't think that people should be in anywhere any day through their day anyway.
Right.
I think you got the library. You have movies. You can go to see a movie. I know people who go to a movie. They pay for one movie. They're there all day long.
But my question is, like, if I was homeless. And believe me, I could have been homeless because I did time in prison, and I could have very well came out to nothing. I could have very well came out to a shelter, go to a shelter. I know many people that has come out of prison and went straight to Bellevue in New York City. And when we talk about shelters, that's like the king of the shelters. You got all your property you must hold on you at all times in Bellevue because someone will steal it. And not only you have to worry about people stealing it when you're not looking, they might even try to take it from you. Yeah. So it's a rough spot, to go in there and try to get some sleep. And I don't think you're gonna really get any sleep if you want to sleep with one eye open. But if I was homeless, I know that I would do everything that I possibly could to change my circumstances. And I noticed I've been in 1 Hudson Street, working there for quite some time, and I've seen people come in homeless and leave with an apartment.
Well, that was what my understanding. I thought that, that by them helping me and me going into the shelter, I've seen the process, and I've seen it in the past where people there a few weeks, maybe a month.
Right.
The caseworker says, "Okay, we're going to see if we can get you some Section 8 or something to help But that's not out there now. There's a waiting list for years for Section 8. There's, I was with my wife for 10 years, 11 years. We break up. All of a sudden, she's got a Spanish last name. She gets Section 8 like this.
Oh.
What happened the 11 years we were together and I was struggling to pay $1,300, $1,400 rent? And now, the moment we break up, she has a baby with a Spanish man. She gets Section 8 like that.
Why?
I don't know. I don't make the rules.
What? So you say if my last name is
Rodriguez,
then they'll
you're up on the list a little quicker.
You think so?
I know that's how it works. I know it. I worked for I worked for social services.
We deal with facts though. Like, you think that's really the case?
You can ask most Puerto Ricans. I swear to God, when you say, even when it comes to Social Security. You look at the amount of people who get Social Security without the, you know what I mean? And they just, because nobody wants problems.
I would think that a white person would get it before a Hispanic person would get it.
Do you think among the white community, if you're not, you're worse than the blacks or the Spanish because they expect you to. I got aunts and uncles that are like, dude, what are you doing?
Right.
I don't like you couldn't walk 5 minutes in my shoes. Yeah,
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Your aunts and uncles, they see that you're in the situation. They see that you're homeless, right? And you don't. Why don't they reach out?
They know that I should be doing this myself. That I shouldn't be. They didn't have anybody's help, so I shouldn't have anybody's help. But meanwhile, they all. They started out like my aunt graduated Mercy College before she was 20. So she had the opportunity. She had a home over her head. She had, you know what I mean?
Yeah, get that to cruise.
Yeah. So that's how it is,
Right.
She's very, very mean.
Your aunts and uncles?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So tell me this. You said something that you said that stuck out to me. You said something about powdered wigs. I thought that was, I never heard that before. Powdered wigs.
Powdered.
Powdered wigs.
Yeah, well, when
you was talking about the system when you said that, right?
Yeah, because all of these laws and rules and everything that the system we're living in, you're talking about people who put powder in their hair to stop the lice from biting them. How educated were these people who made these laws?
This guy.
Wash your fucking ass.
Yeah, you're right. So
but they won't bite you if you're clean. No, but just throw some dirt on them. Like, the Zimbabwe, they say, put the dirt, but that's not real dirt. You're talking about talcum powder to stop the bugs from biting you. Okay, well, listen to this guy. Kill all the Indians.
Okay.
Kill all the Indians and wear powder in our hair so we don't bite us. But God's not punishing us in any way, are they? Cutting our life down to 100 years. God's not punishing you.
Right. I get it.
So let's make sure everyone else lives 100 years because we want everyone to be like us.
My boy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go there.
No, it's all good. It is what it is.
This is a spot that is starting to really tick me off because everyone knows the right and wrong, but nobody's man enough to stand up to them.
Right. So what do you think that we and the people that's watching? What do you think that we can do to help?
Go to Al Jazeera and see how people in these so-called third world countries stand up for their rights.
Go where?
A TV station like Al Jazeera where they try to do as little lying as possible, as opposed to our, we watch on a regular basis. But look at how when something isn't right, a couple 100,000 people stand up for a forum and say, look, we're not going to take this anymore. And they say, okay, no, we don't want this problem, so we're going to do what these people are telling us. We're so jaded into, okay, we don't want the problem. We don't want to have the guys in black knocking on our doors telling us, you're going to take your computer. They've done that to me. They knocked on my door because I started a website on the truths about Washington and Abraham Lincoln. When I did that, they were like, oh, no, you can't do that.
Right.
What, tell the truth?
What were you saying?
Washington did a lot of terrible things to people in Yonkers.
In Yonkers?
Yonkers in general. The Dutch said that
George Washington
did a lot of real evil, nasty things. Frederick Phelps, Philip Phillips, or whatever manner. These people were here and had a thing with the Indians. They were cohesive and they built things and were happy with each other. And then here comes this evil guy on a ship and says, all right, we're going to shoot you. We're going to make your family walk into the water with bags of rocks and these miserable things that I seen. But now they're not there anymore because at one time it was in the Library of Congress. You can find these things. You can see it. Now all of a sudden it's all gone. Why? I know what happened. You know what happened. But the thing is they forget that the hyperlinks are all still in a Google account. Okay, so if you really want to hide things, don't have Google, don't have an iCloud because it's all still in there. So when you want me to check up on it, it'll be there.
Andrew Horkey in the building.
Ow.
Andrew Horkey, real funny dude. But all right, so we want to help Andrew Horkey get some affordable housing. We want to help him health-wise because I can hear him breathing right now. I can hear how he's breathing. He's breathing really, really hard, laboring, and he sleeps in front of me, and I hear him at night how he breathes. He breathes
How about
pretty
the
heavy.
attacks, the coughing attacks when I get up?
Yes, and he coughs a lot, and I know that his health is failing. We want to get him some help, and there's a lot of people I believe that's homeless and ambitious. There's a guy that works at the shelter right now that's actually fixing my computer.
Oh, he's amazing.
Talking to the mic. He's fixing my computer. He's homeless, but he's on the computer store, and the laptop was popped. It was snapped in half.
No, see,
and he's repairing it for me.
These people that do the work, that actually get the job done, are the people that need to get paid more. Because you see that there's always some guy above them saying, all right, we're going to tell you what to do.
There's another guy that works there that actually fixed my car. I have one of them old schools, and I put it in the shop, and I went to check. They was repairing it, and I went there one day while they was working, and I seen one of the guys in the shelter underneath my car fixing the car, and I seen him. I said, "Wow, look at this guy." There's talent. There's another guy that works in the shelter. He's a client. He runs around the guitar.
The older guy, right?
The older guy.
He's talented too. He plays like.
And you speak to him, and he used to play some really big shows, and you could tell by, the jury and the jury. Who?
Orville, tall black guy.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy.
Well, there's a lot of smart people, and I don't
that
believe
gibberish
that
he talks. If you learn to speak that gibberish, he's a smart guy.
Just because you're homeless don't make you stupid or anything like that. It's just you're homeless.
It's a predicament you're in. That's all.
And anybody could be in that predicament. I've seen people come through the shelters that I would never expect to see. But I noticed that homelessness doesn't discriminate against anybody. Anybody could be homeless.
Creed.
Anybody could be homeless.
Woman, man, doesn't matter.
Next time you walk by somebody on the street, remember that person had a story and he probably had a house. He probably had more than you have right now. It's a possibility.
I did that for years. I'd drive around with a flag on the side of my car. God bless America. Oh my God, look at that bum. He could be doing something where. And then when you're in that position, it's like, oh my God, what did I do?
Right. Yeah. All right. So
God bless him.
Let's talk about
for every bum I ever talked bad to. I'm sorry.
What can Horkey do? What kind of changes can you make to better yourself? Because if somebody out here wants to help Horkey, wants to see Horkey helping himself.
Personally, the last couple of years I have left. I mean, because I feel like I have some years left. I don't think that I'm going to go any minute now. I want to get my license fixed because ever since this happened, I missed a month or two of child support. Maybe I owe them like.
So how many children you have?
3 children. But I was only paying for one of them because my wife frauded the system by saying that the first 2 boys weren't mine and didn't give them my name. I didn't say that. Is that I get in trouble for that? No.
Sad.
But you know, that's the system we live in. She didn't want to work, so she wanted to collect welfare, food stamps, Medicaid. So she said, all right, well, I'm going to give them my name, so that way, you know, I don't have to prove that they're yours.
Okay.
But I didn't want my sons having my shitty last name anyway. Who the fuck's want a name like Horkey? What the hell is Horkey?
Right.
And I got picked on my whole life. Porky, Porky Pig, and you know, I didn't want my sons to go through that.
All right. So you have
their last name.
You have
is
a
Vaughn.
license. Your license is suspended, and you want to clear your license.
I want to clear my license up. I want to get a car on the road. I want to drive Lyft and Uber until
you want to drive Lyft and Uber.
That's all. I don't want no bosses. I don't want nobody telling me what to do. If I want to go home and
so
shut it
you
off,
also
I
need
shut
a
it
vehicle. You need a vehicle. You need your license fixed, and then you can. Then from there you can
pretty
apply
much
for Lyft and Uber.
Yeah, well, that's the easiest thing. You just got a little background check, and I got a clean record.
Yeah,
license and you know, felon, nothing.
Right. So you know, but what do you think that you need to do, Horkey? Like, what some of the things that you need to do to help people help you? Because where could they find you at right now?
Share community.
You said, and where else?
Facebook.
Where you get your money at?
Oh, Chase Bank, Main Street, and Buena Vista. I'm always there. If I'm not there, I'm at the shelter. It's panhandle. So
he panhandles at Chase Bank.
I got to beg people for money to eat because they cut my food stamps this month. I have no reason understanding why, but now I have no food stamps either.
Right. You know, there's people out here that, you know, they're watching right now, and they're saying that you're playing a victim. I know this guy. His story. He sounds like he is a victim, but
no way am I a victim. Trust me on this.
Yeah, he's not a victim.
I'm doing all right. I'm just, you know, I shouldn't have to be out there begging for money.
Right.
I should get my Social Security like, you know, like I worked for 37 years of busting my ass. That doesn't count for nothing. And 3 kids that are drug free.
Right.
Come on, man.
And that's your thing. Why don't you get your Social Security? Why aren't you getting it?
They denied me 3 times. Every time I went to go talk to their doctors never even hooked me up to any machines or nothing. They just said, okay, you're not sick. I mean, you're sick. We'll let them know that you're sick. And then when I get home, I get a phone call 2 ladies, and they're saying, no, well, you know, we denied you again.
All right. And your illness is?
Congestive heart failure.
Heart failure.
But along with it, you got hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes. You name it, it all goes along with it because of, you know, the body's suffering from no oxygen.
Right. I seen his feet too. I did. You know, when they fill with water and, you know, them socks.
Worst look in the world.
And it leaves an imprint.
Ugh. It's every night. If I got to watch what socks I wear, I got to be careful that I don't fall asleep with socks, or feet could turn black in the middle of the night because of no circulation. It's crazy.
Right. I keep my eye on Mr. Horkey and a lot of guys.
I love you guys, man. You know, I know you and Drew, man. If it weren't for you guys, I'd be
But you know,
right now.
All right, so I think you would need a GoFundMe. Somebody mentioned that, you know, we need to start a GoFundMe for Mr. Horkey. And, you know, there's so many people there at the sharing community, so many homeless people. I wish I could bring them all on. If you've seen them in my promo, you know, the people in the promo are some of the people that, you know, I see almost every day. And, you know, you watch these guys and you feel bad for them, and then you don't feel bad for them. It's the feeling is like, it's like a tug of war. Like if I see Mr. Horkey, I'm talking to him now, and I can hear him breathing, I feel some kind of way for, you know, his health. I feel, you know, that he shouldn't be like that. He should get some type of medical
I'm used
treatment.
to it. Don't even feel bad.
But then, on the other hand, I could see him smoking a cigarette and be like, what are you doing? You know, and this is the tug of war here.
All right, now, the cigarette actually makes you feel good when you're in my position.
And drugs or anything.
Anything going into your lungs and relieving the lungs of the fluid that's in it, anything feels good. You can eat a candy cane and feel good because you feel that mentholatum of opening up. The camphor, the Indian camphor. I love smelling it because I actually feel my lungs opening up.
Mm-hmm.
So when I smoke a cigarette, it's doing damage to me. But I mean, what more damage am I going to do if my heart's at 18% now? And the doctors are like, look, we don't understand how you're even still alive. All right, so then if this is making me happy, and let me do it. What am I going to do?
Don't give up, Mr. Horkey.
No, and that's the thing. They're baffled because I'm not going to change my way of life. I'm not going to bow down or kowtow to do what they want me to do. No, my life, I'm supposed to be retired by now. So I'm going to live as if I'm retired. And if it means having to stand and beg people for money, I refuse to bust my ass anymore. Sorry.
Right. Well, these are choices that you have to make. These are hard choices. And, there is a saying that if you always do what you always done, you'll always be who you already are. So at some point you gotta make a change. You gotta change. People say to me all the time, they be like, "Yo, Dice, you changed," and I be like,
I'm
"You know
stuck
what?
in a
You
funk
didn't.
right now.
Get away from me." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm stuck in a funk routine. Like, I'm actually happy with the way my life is now. I get up in the morning. I get enough money to eat. I go eat. I get enough money to go have lunch. I go have lunch. And these people I deal with on a daily basis, they give me reason to be here. You know what I mean? Like the people who actually I see on a daily basis that give me $2 or $3. All right, here, Drew, man, we feel bad for you. Take that. That little bit of happiness is actually the drug that we need as humans. That's
so you
natural
get people showing
drug.
you that
they care.
That they care.
It could be a quarter, but because the person stopped and said, Drew, man, wish you could do better and this and that. We're praying for you. Just somebody saying that they're praying for you is like food.
Right, and it's a good thing, and I'm gonna give a round of applause to the people that look out for people like that.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
But it's like it's guys like me, right, that work with the guys that know where that dollar goes to sometimes.
Oh,
and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. Your choice is your choice, your life is your life, but it kind of hardened you a little bit to help certain people because you see what they're spending their money on, and sometimes it's not food.
What's the difference if somebody like I'm not going to say names, but there was one person that I made a friend, and we look out for each other. I look out for him mostly. He gets his check on the 1st. He disappears for 2 days. No one knows where he went.
Right.
Smoking crack for 2 days. Now he's broke now 2 days later, and now he's back asking me to help him out as his friend. And I'm like, dude, where were you 2 days ago when you got your check?
And that's where the shelter, to me, is like a crutch for some of the guys.
Exactly, but you know who these people are. You could pick them out right away. You know who these people are. And these are the people that need to be in programs. Not programs like they send these people out nowadays. A real program where there's a meal, there's sports, there's like they would for anybody who goes to these upper class drug rehabilitation centers. You can't do that for everybody. No, just for the people who have money.
Yeah, you can't, because that is a service, and people have to pay for that service.
Yeah, what are we paying for anyway? $1 million for a toilet bowl.
For a toilet bowl.
Well, but $450 for a toilet bowl seat for the government.
Right.
We know all that. Money is wasted on garbage. The sharing community alone, I know how much each person gets every night that sleeps there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money that they get.
They also have to pay.
Exactly, but there's water, a lot of things that are
Con Edison.
I understand that, but there are certain people in there that are getting a little too much money for what they do. I'm sorry. People like you, and I understand Drew, and I don't want to say names, but
others.
You are worth your weight in gold.
Oh, I appreciate that. Say that again. You said me. I'm what?
There are 3 other people in that place that are physically worth their weight in gold because they take the time to get to know people. Right. They're not just there to get the money and tell you, look, man, shut up, don't eat this, don't do that, don't do that. You actually take the time to get to know somebody, and you know everybody who comes through that door, and you have a mind, you're mindful.
Yeah, Mr. Horkey, just don't be content.
No.
How could they reach you? Because, you know, I know Mr. Horkey needs help.
I mean, if you want, I'll give you my phone number, my personal phone number if it came down to it. But it's AndrewHorkey7 at gmail.com. You know, it's many ways to get in touch with me.
If you want to help Mr. Horkey, right now he wants to get his license fixed. He wants to drive Uber. His license is suspended.
No, it's not suspended for any marks or anything. It's suspended because of child support.
Child support suspended his license. So maybe you have to get that fixed first, huh?
Well, it's a very simple thing. It's just a couple of bucks to have child support lifted. It's not even like $200-300.
Okay.
They actually.
Well, shout out. Give them your contact. Give them your contact information.
My email is AndrewHorkey7 at gmail.com.
Okay.
You can get me at Andrew Horkey at Facebook. You know,
right.
Pretty much you want to friend me if you want to do.
Homelessness is real. You know, anybody could be in that situation, you know. I just want to thank you, Mr. Horkey, for coming.
God. Thank you.
For sharing your story with us.
I really appreciate you.
I really appreciate you. You know, you're a brave man. I didn't think you was going to come. I didn't think you was going to show up.
People, yeah, homeless. Don't worry about it.
I didn't think you was going to come, but you showed up. And, you know, I appreciate it.
It's very real. This is a very real situation. Like you said, there are certain people that you can call drug addicts, bums. I mean,
dinner on me,
homeless is a different situation altogether.
For sure.
I love you, brother.
You know, I once again, you know, in my opinion, the difference between a bum and a homeless person is lack of ambition.
Exactly.
And, you know, I see a lot of guys come in to the shelter and they're just homeless, and some of them leave out successfully. You know, with you know, came and did what they're supposed to do and leave out, you know, with an apartment and things of that nature and a job, and some of them just circle the drain. They never leave.
They get an apartment, and then a couple months later they lose the apartment. They're on the same thing again.
Yeah, I saw that too. It's a cycle.
Yeah, cycle.
It's a cycle. It's a toxic cycle too, and you know you
got
to
break. Be that way.
You have to break it. You have to break the cycle. You got to be proactive.
You know, I swore that I would talk about things that I really wanted to talk about tonight, like, you know, trying to change this whole homelessness thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very easy thing. Yeah. Why not? 2 minutes?
No.
I'm sorry. We can fix this by easily just making a place for people to sleep and not have to worry about, you know, cops and all this other stuff. Maybe another time, another agenda. Another form.
Well, once again, plug your Gmail, because I want, if you want to help Mr. Horkey, contact him at
Andrew Horkey7.
Andrew Horkey7
at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Or you could contact me, and I'll manage his funds for him at DICE DILLS at iCloud.com. That's DICE DILLS at iCloud.com, and I'll make sure, you know, any inquiries on, you know, any information you need to know about Mr. Horkey, I'll provide it to them, and, you know, make sure that you'll be able to contact him and assist him in any way that he needs to be assisted. You know, the providing the simple things like food, clothing, you know, that's very, very important to some of these guys, you know, because, you know, having a change of clothes means a lot.
Socks.
You know?
Socks.
Socks.
You got to give
underwear.
these people socks. And socks.
Mm-hmm.
You got to smell this place at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Not this place.
No, the
place.
shelter.
Right. The shelter. 3 in the morning.
Knockout, man.
Yeah.
You know what it's like.
For sure. Yes, I do know.
Please, socks for the homeless.
Socks, yeah. Definitely socks.
Underwear we can, you know.
T-shirts.
Things
of that nature. But once again, Mr. Horkey, I want to thank you for coming. You know, another episode of the No Negative Behavior Show, the 11th episode. Shout out to Nipsey Hussle and his family. Yes. My condolences. Shout out to Laura London. Shout out to all the people that supported the King Stop Killing Kings movement. Yes. That was very dope, nonviolent movement. We're going to promote the peace. Keep it going, fellas. Want to keep it going. And I want you to always tune in to the No Negative Behavior Show every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. And remember what I said. It's easier to stay out of trouble than it is to get out of trouble, for sure. Thank you for sharing your time with me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Horkey. I appreciate it. Erica and Cruz, we out of here. Peace.
Thank you.